earthquakes. An unexpected movement of the Earth's surface is called an earthquake. When two parts of the Earth's surface move suddenly in relation to each other along a fault line due to tectonic forces, an earthquake occurs. A tremendous amount of energy is released in the form of tremors and vibrations. Such earthquakes are called tectonic earthquakes. The point of origin of an earthquake is called the focus, while the point directly above it on the surface of the Earth is called the epicenter. Owing to the strong vibrations around the point of origin, the degree of destruction is greater around the epicenter. The branch of knowledge that deals with the study of earthquakes is called seismology, and the experts who study seismic waves are called seismologists. There are three types of seismic waves that spread in all directions from the focus. They are the P, S, and L waves. The compressional waves are the first to reach the earthquake recording station as they travel 1.7 times faster than the shear waves and are therefore called primary or P waves, while the shear waves are called secondary or S waves. The primary waves cause the particles of rock to vibrate forwards and backwards in the direction of the waves. Secondary waves, on the other hand, cause the particles to oscillate at right angles to the direction of the waves. When P and S reach the surface of the Earth, they get converted into L, long waves that travel along the surface, vibrating horizontally at right angles to the direction of the waves, called love waves or Rayleigh waves, as they also travel like sea waves. The most violent shocks and subsequent destruction is caused by the L waves. The instrument used to detect and record seismic waves is called a seismograph. The recorded material appears like a graph and is called a seismogram. Based on the depth of their foci, earthquakes are classified into three types. They are deep focus earthquakes that occur at depths exceeding 300 kilometers, the reasons for which have not yet been identified. Intermediate focus earthquakes with depths of foci ranging between 55 and 300 kilometers. Shallow focus earthquakes with depths lesser than 55 kilometers. To measure the magnitude of the earthquakes, a Richter scale is used. The point scale is arranged in such a way that each of the units on the scale is equivalent to 30 times the energy released by the previous unit. While a magnitude of 2 is seldom felt, a magnitude of 7 indicates the lower limit of an earthquake that has a devastating effect over a large area. Inside our Earth. Interior of the Earth. The Earth, our home planet, is a dynamic planet that undergoes a lot of changes inside and outside, especially in the deepest interiors. The Earth is made up of several concentric layers with one inside the other. The outermost layer is called the crust, which is the thinnest of all layers, with a thickness of about 35 kilometers on the continental masses and only 5 kilometers on the oceanic floors. The main constituent of the continental masses is silica and aluminum, which is also referred to as Cl, whereas the oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium and is therefore called Sema. Beneath the crust, there is a second layer, the mantle, which extends up to a depth of 2,900 kilometers and a radius of about 3,500 kilometers. The minerals that are mostly found in this layer are nickel and ferrous, which account for the very high temperatures in the interiors of the Earth. Rocks and minerals. A natural mass of mineral matter that constitutes the Earth's crust consists of rocks of different colors, sizes, and textures. There are three major types of rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. The formation of these igneous rocks, or primary rocks as they're also called, occurs when the molten magma cools and becomes solid. There are two types in these igneous rocks. They are intrusive and extrusive rocks. The lava, which is a fiery molten magma that comes out of the volcano, becomes hard when it touches the crust, forming extrusive igneous rocks. They have a very fine-grained structure. One of the examples is basalt. The Deccan Plateau is primarily made up of basalt rocks. When the magma cools down inside the crust, really hard and solid rocks are formed, which are called intrusive igneous rocks. An example of this type of rock is granite, which is used to make grinding stones. Sedimentary rocks are formed by a process when rocks roll down and hit each other and crack, forming sediments. These sediments are transported and deposited by wind, water, etc. They harden to form layers of rock called the sedimentary rocks. Sandstone is formed by these grains of sedimentary rocks. Under great heat and pressure, the sedimentary and igneous rocks transform into metamorphic rocks, just the way in which clay changes into slate and slate into marble. Rocks, as we all know, are used to make roads, buildings, and houses. You can look around you and see the different types, shapes, and sizes of rocks. As we learnt before, rock changes its types under external conditions, and this process of transformation is called the rock cycle. The first step of the cycle starts when molten magma cools and solidifies into igneous rock. Next, when these igneous rocks are broken down, they transform into sedimentary rocks. The cycle continues to when the igneous and sedimentary rocks that are subjected to heat and pressure change into metamorphic rocks. If these metamorphic rocks continue to be under heat and pressure, they melt to form molten magma, thus completing the entire rock cycle. Rocks also constitute minerals, which are naturally occurring substances of different physical properties and definite chemical structure. They are used as petroleum, gas, aluminum, granite, etc.